Greetings, Emmett here from ReadingforWisdom.com. Today we're going to review a truly awful book, a terrible book. What do I mean by awful and terrible here? Well, this book is about the greatest betrayal of friendship, of loyalty, of country in British history, in American history, in the history of the Cold War. The book that we have today is A Spy Among Friends, Kim Philby and the Great Betrayal by Ben Macintyre. It's actually a great book. What I mean when I said awful and terrible is at the heart this is a book about friendship betrayed. It's about a man, Kim Philby, who without a doubt is one of the most horrible, duplicitous, terrible, immoral, amoral men in recent history. And Ben Macintyre really gives us the whole story. The whole story of Philby and his rise through British intelligence, through his interaction in the Second World War with his American allies, and while the whole time getting closer and closer to the Soviet Union and eventually becoming one of their top spies. Of course, as we know, in the 50s and 60s, the great British spy scandal, the Cambridge spy scandal, unfolded, damaged Britain's credibility with its allies, damaged British credibility with itself, and really exposed huge problems in the British class system. And at the heart of this book, and one of the reasons that Philby, this truly awful character, is able to get away with his spying, with his fictions, even though many people suspected him for a long time, was because of the British class system. This book is full of amazing characters. Philby himself, of course, runs large all the way through, and he is quite unbelievable, jaw-dropping. His front, his charisma, his ability simply to get away with the fraud that he perpetuated on so many people is just amazing. He's a larger-than-life character. Some of the other secondary characters, though, are equally fascinating. Elliott, Nicholas Elliott, one of Philby's closest friends, a loyal guy, a real patriot, a very intelligent person, but somebody who stuck by Philby right to the end, backed him up within the intelligence services until he too was finally betrayed. Another very interesting character that comes out is James Jesus Angleton, the legendary American spy master, head of CIA's counterintelligence division for many, many years, until he was finally exposed just after Watergate for authorizing some really terrible things on the American people. A very strange character, a person who cultivated an aura of knowing eccentricity, in Macintyre's words, but a person who I think was very, very clever, but not so smart maybe. Guy Burgess is another character that comes in. I think the phrase that was attributed to Byron, mad, bad, and dangerous to know, is definitely attributable to Burgess. An absolutely crazy, chaotic, lunatic, drunken, absolutely mad character. And what we see throughout the book is that even though this guy's in British intelligence and the British diplomatic corps, he's running around like a crazy loon and still allowed to get away with it. But he also was a Soviet spy too. Probably the most tragic figures in the book are Philby's unfortunate wives. First of all, Eileen Philby, a lady who ended up completely destroyed by all the betrayals. Her end is so, so sad. And apart from the rich story material in the book, one of its key features is, of course, Macintyre himself. Macintyre's a great writer. He's a top journalist, and his fluid writing style shows throughout the book. Every page sparkles. I'm going to read a little section that illustrates the rivalry between MI5 and MI6 that Macintyre highlights. The conflicting attitudes towards Philby between the sister services of British intelligence would expose a cultural fault line that predated this crisis, long outlasted it, and persists today. MI5 and MI6, the Security Service and the Secret Intelligence Service, broadly equivalent to the FBI and CIA, overlapped in many respects, but were fundamentally dissimilar in outlook. MI5 tended to recruit former policemen and soldiers, men who sometimes spoke with regional accents, and frequently did not know or care about the right order to use the cutlery at a formal dinner. They enforced the law and defended the realm, caught spies and prosecuted them. MI6 was more public school and Oxbridge, its accent more refined, its tailoring better. Its agents and officers frequently broke the laws of other countries in pursuit of secrets, and did so with a certain swagger. We could make a program for half an hour talking about all the attributes of this book. As I said, a most majestic story, a tragic story, and at its heart, this great betrayal. Beautifully done by Ben Macintyre. I highly recommend this read, but a warning, you're going to need to set aside a couple of consecutive days because you're not going to want to put this book down. If you like this review, if you like the type of books that we're talking about on this channel, please subscribe, give us a like, and come over to readingforwisdom.com where you can see much other resources that we hope you enjoy.